So let's start the trade recap. Gonna go over the trade that I took this morning based off of the analysis that I sent you guys as well. So this morning I ended up taking two positions, one with gold and then another one with US30. Let's start off first with the gold one. So this morning we were looking for buy position off the daily, bullish, weekly, bullish, 4 hour bullish, all the structures bullish, right? What the idea of today's trade is the same exact idea that happened yesterday in the same way. Oh, my bad guys. My mouse just died. So I'm gonna have to connect this. Let me just do this very quick. All right, let me just transfer this to this one. All right, perfect. Let me just see. All right, perfect. So the whole idea of today analysis, which is simply just go along with the trend, right? Remember, when price is heading bullish or bearish, and we're just simply creating higher highs and higher lows, the whole entire point is just to go along with the trend, right? Remember, the trend is always gonna be your friend, right? So check this out. This over here, we broke above this area of resistance, right? This happened on Sunday. Notice what price did. Break above it, make the new all-time highs, pulled back, retest the previous all-time high, used it as support, and then bought the market back into the upside. What happened over here? The same exact trade. We made this new all-time high, breaking above the previous all-time highs. We got the pullback, we got those rejection, and then what happened next? Market break back into the upside, forming a new all-time highs, and then what happens over here? We broke above previous all-time high, forms a new all-time highs, we get this pullback, and then price perfectly starts pushing back into the upside. So that was the trade that I ended up taking this morning. So check this out. We're going to the lower time frame. I did explain to you guys where exactly to buy the market right now. I did end up taking this high risk trade at 23, around the 2350, which is the zone that I mentioned this morning, which it will make more sense whenever price breaks and retests above the 2355. Now me personally, I end up taking the high risk trade, which was around the 2351 is where I end up taking my position. But check this out. So once price did come into my area of interest, which this morning was at 2348, 2349, we did see that price was perfectly rejecting it, right? So we got the deep pullback into the zone. Price was currently consolidating here for a while, which we were rejecting. And then what I simply waited for was for price to give me the sign that price is now heading bullish, right? So once we start seeing those confirmation that price was rejecting it, what I simply waited for was for price to at least break above this minor structure over here, which is also support, minor support. So which, as you guys can see, price perfectly pushed into the upside, and then I set my limit at 2351, right, which is right over here. So as soon as we did close above it, I did set my limit, which, as you guys can see, price activated the limit multiple times. We were kind of consolidating for a while until we got the break into the upside, and then we finally hit all of our take profits, which all the take profit first hit for over 80 pips. It gave us over 100 pips, also 1 or 2 risk to reward trade. And as you guys can see, this wick over here, what happened next? We got the pullback into the 2355, which was the other zone that I mentioned to you guys would be a very most likely a safe buys, right? So this was the area that I also told you guys to buy, which I personally ended up taking my second entry. Now I did not send this entry in the VIP since I did not want to obviously just manage more risk in the VIP. I end up taking this one by myself in my account. But check this out. This once we end up obviously heading to the upside, we got this pullback exactly to the 2351, which, as you guys can see, as soon as we got the pullback, price immediately rejected it, right? So we closed the bearish candle, and the next candle closed as a bullish candle. Now I did not enter right away off this bullish engulfing candle. What I simply waited for was for the third candle to actually close, which, as you guys can see, the second candle we did close back under, and then I simply waited for the third candle. The reason why I did not enter right over here, because check this out, I would have gotten stopped out if I would have entered this position over here. And then also I did not really find a great risk to reward setup at this point, so it did not make sense for me to buy it there, right? But I did end up taking my position right over here, which after we got the other pullback, we did manage to close bullish, which I got a perfect entry under the area of interest, right? And then after that, price perfectly pushed into the upside. This trade over here also gave me a 1 or 2 risk to reward trade for over 80 pips. So this one over here gave me over 130 pips, over 1.2.6 risk to reward. This one over here was also 1 or 2, it was just straight up a 1 or 2. So perfect day. Never end up hitting my final take profit for 1 or 3 risk to reward traded, which I did have my final take profit right over here. Same exact with this one. Now what I did was I didn't manage to move my stop loss into the take profit 3, which was 2358. which was also 80 pips, right? So I did end up moving all my stop loss for this position into 23.58, for this position at 23.58, which as you guys can see, price was, we did got a major rejection towards this one of these zones over here, which I also had marked up, which is 23.60. I'm still waiting for price to actually give, to see if price can give us another pullback into the zone to possibly continue the sales around the 23.60, 23.65. So I'm going to keep an eye there for tomorrow analysis. But as soon as price was rejecting the zone over here, we perfectly, or not perfectly, price end up just taking us out of profit, right? We had a stop loss at profit, which is the runners, end up taking us a stop loss, and then price just kept pushing to the downside, which is fine. Now, I was gonna enter a second entry or third entry as well around the 23.45, right? So check this out. This was another entry that I had this morning. I believe it was 23.45. Let me double check. Yeah, it was a 23.45, but check this out. So I end up sending out the limit once price was just hanging out around these zones over here. Now, the first attempt, we did miss it by less than 5 pips, I believe it was. Yeah, so it was less than 5 pips. We end up missing this trade. Price pushing to the upside for 40 pips. The second attempt, price got very, very close into it. We missed it less than 5 pips, and then price push into the upside for over 90 pips. So at this point, it was already risky to then take it for the third attempt since we already missed it twice and the move already happened, right? Now, I end up deleting the limit, but check this out. Later on throughout the session, price did activate my trade, and then it perfectly went into the direction that I wanted to, right? But with my strategy, right, my plan with my strategy is that once price doesn't activate the second time, the third time it does becomes risky, right? Because again, what is the chances of price doing this, and what is the chances of price just activating your trade, consolidates, and then just end up switching structure and end up taking you guys at a stop loss, right? So third attempt is always going to be a 50-50, which is high risk, right? Rather just attempt it twice than the third time. So that was a trade that I took this morning with gold. Perfectly, we missed this one, which is fine. We end up making it back. Well, we end up making trades this morning with these two good, amazing trades. Now we're just gonna move on for the next day, which is tomorrow, and just send you guys a new analysis with gold. Now, US30 this morning end up taking two buy position, right? So the first one was exactly the 3800, where I mentioned to you guys to buy the market as well. Right now, the first attempt, it did fail. If you guys did wait it, you guys would have obviously avoided this loss. Now, I did set up a limit at 3800, which as you guys can see, price activate, and then boom, just literally just end up taking me out of stop loss. Now, I did have another limit exactly at this exact support range, which if you guys go in the 4-hour time frame, you guys can see that it's this zone of support, right? But let's go into a higher time frame, it looks better. So if you guys go in a higher time frame, we got support, 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 and support. Price perfectly rejected it, and then we got the push into the upside. I end up making back my loss, plus we're back in profit over 1%. So end up making it over, almost hit a 1 to 3 risk to reward trade with this one. This is currently running over 2.8%, over 1 to 2.8, and then we also secured over 360 points, which is dope. So now the price is actually above the 3800, I'm just going to be waiting for the pullback into there to then continue the trend, right? But check this out. If you guys did wait for price to like obviously take out everyone at stop loss, manipulate the whole entire market, which is where I got caught in, right? If you guys waited for this one, then you guys waited for exactly what I mentioned to you guys, which is the break and retest above the 3800, then you guys could have avoided the loss, and you guys could have actually taken the market right over here, and then you guys could have gotten the profits, right? So this is actually one of the other trades that I could have entered as well once we did reject above this area of interest. Could have taken my position at around the 38,850, which would have been my second entry. My stop loss could have been somewhere around there, and then we would have been in profit for over 140 points. Almost could have given us a 1-3 as well. So if you guys waited for this entire move to happen, you guys could have caught the buys right over here, which was originally the plan. But end up taking one of my position over here. Could have taken this one, but like I said, I was already in the other trade, so it doesn't really make sense. But that's pretty much it, guys, what I end up taking this morning. US30, I'm going to keep looking at exactly at the same exact zone, 3800, which is still going to be valid to me. But in this time, I won't be setting the limit. I'm actually going to be waiting for price to exactly come into those areas. So that's pretty much it, guys, for this analysis, for this recap. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.